Hello everybody and welcome to another one of our leadership training videos. Now by now I hope you know that in these leadership training videos what I do is I spend a few minutes just explaining to you some of what I see as the most important aspects of leadership, whether it's to improve your own existing leadership skills, to understand what the traits and qualities are to become a leader, how you become a more effective leader, how you can maybe change some of those things that aren't working so well for you in your leadership. Or maybe you just want to understand what leadership is about because you're not a leader yet in your mind, but that's what you're aspiring to become. So I normally take a few topics, an idea, I break it down, give you some insights in terms of what I feel and see as far as leadership is concerned. Now my name is Chris Igwe. I have over 35 years experience leading, training and developing teams across primarily 5 major markets in Europe, but also across Europe, Middle East and Africa, where I've grown teams and achieved a level of success in my industry. If you're not familiar with the process, please feel free to like, comment and share, and of course let me know if you have any questions or thoughts or feedback that I can respond to either directly or in another way. Please feel free also to subscribe to the channel so you know when other videos are becoming available, and check the previous ones that have come out, which maybe answer some of your questions as well. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, it's humility in leadership. Humility in leadership. Because how many leaders out there do you know for whom humility is not necessarily the core skill or ability that they put forward? And yet it has so many important aspects to it, which I want to make sure that I share with you today. Now, as I've been growing up, some of you may recall or you may know of, there's a quote, and I can't remember who it is, but it says, "It's hard to be humble," and then the rest is, "when you're as great as me." It's hard to be humble when you're as great as me. So that's kind of the philosophy of many leaders, many individuals, of course. We just think that we are the very best, and we should be, but it's got to be managed in a certain way. So why is humility important? Well, let's look at the benefits, of which there are many, and that's why it's so important to understand this notion of humility and see how it affects you, and more importantly, how it affects other people. So the first thing is, it's the way in which you present yourself to others and how you present yourself for others. So if you have humility, people see you in a particular way. And that particular way could be the second point, which shows that you are approachable. So no matter how successful you've become, how much of an authority you are in your field, you can actually be approached. People can contact you, they can connect with you. When you have humility as a leader, you put others forward. We've spoken about this before, putting members of your team ahead, because leadership is about the team. It's not just about the leader, and it's far from being about the leader. You learn to congratulate others around you, those in your team, if you've achieved something, or if you've got to a point where you are at the top of the tree, as it were. You congratulate and thank others for being there, because you allow them to share your success. It's not just you, it's about them being involved and a part of that. The other thing is, and this is really, really important, it shows that you are respectful towards other people. You have a respect for other people, because that's really important. You may be seen as someone truly amazing and fantastic, and of course, hopefully you are, but you can still take the time to respect other people. The things that you should eliminate: you have no pride. You should be proud of your achievement, absolutely. That's something you own. You've got to that point, be proud of it. But having pride is very different. Having pride almost gives you a superiority compared to other people, which you don't want. It can be linked to arrogance, so you don't want to have any arrogance. Yes, I've achieved this status. Yes, I'm a great leader. Yes, I'm climbing the ladder, whatever it is, but don't show arrogance. And one of the most important aspects is not to have any self-promotion. So although you have succeeded, although you've done a great job, you've achieved something, maybe with your team you've been very successful at something, the idea is to minimize the self-promotion. Don't say how wonderful you are, how amazing you've been. Yes, in terms of promoting yourself, in terms of what the team has done, absolutely. But it's this word here, self. avoid self-promotion. So where does that all leave us in the end? Well, you might say, I'm struggling with humility. I'm not sure how to achieve it. I'm not sure how to deal with it. Maybe it's a challenge for you already. Or maybe you have others who are leaders or people around you and you're wondering, well, what is it that they're doing and how can they change as a result of that? Well, the first thing is, like many of these things in leadership, it is a process. It's something that takes time. It's step by step. So if you're struggling with the idea of creating an environment of being humble and humility, then first of all, understand it'll take time. So what are the things that you'll need to do? Well, one of the most important ones is you have to change your behavior. If you don't or can't change your behavior, it's going to be very difficult, A, for you to overcome the challenge, but also for other people to see who you are, the fact that you are open, you're more approachable now than you maybe were before. The important thing is also to say to yourself or recognize you are not Superman or Superwoman. No matter what you've achieved, how high a mountain you've climbed, or how big a river you've crossed, or how deep an ocean you've swum in, it doesn't matter. It's the fact that you are not human, superhuman in any way, shape or form. You have to recognize that. Now that may be a disappointment for some of you who do see yourselves as being superheroes. That's okay, but in leadership, you don't have any place in that. One really important part is it helps you to listen to others more, because the more, and we talked about this in a previous leadership training videos, the ability to listen to other people is so powerful, so strong. And the more that you start to do that consciously, the more it lowers. It's a bit like a barometer. It starts to lower the temperature because you're listening to other people. Another thing really important, you put others forward. So learn to do that. That's an easy thing to do. Maybe changing your behavior is more complicated. And we're not going into it now as to how you do that. But putting other people forward, that's a simple thing. You've achieved something great in your team, your department, your company. Put others first. Recognize that they're the ones. Surprise them, shock them. Say, well, we didn't get here or I didn't get here as a result of what I've achieved alone. It's him or her or them that has helped you. You'll find that to be an amazing booster for you as well. And then the final point, which is important, is change your language. And by that, I don't mean whether you speak French or English or German or Japanese or whatever, but change the way in which you use words. So for example, you could say, as part of that, putting others forward, you could say to yourself, I just want to say thank you to my team or to these individuals, or I recognize that I've got here because others have helped me to get here. So it's words that maybe you wouldn't use before that help you to get to that point where people say, there is a changed behavior, there is a changed attitude. So with that in mind, it's a process. Learn it, embrace it, because it's so important to your growth. Humility is really important in leadership, and very often the flip side of that, which is either arrogance or obstinacy or just me, myself and I, because I did it and I did it on my own, you'll be surprised how fast people will want to knock you down, because people will want to bring you down from that high pedestal where you see yourself. Whereas if you take people with you, you'll be even more acknowledged and embraced as a leader that shows humility, and a stronger leader as well. So I hope this has resonated. If so, please feel free to share, like, comment. And as I said, please subscribe to the channel so you know when other videos are becoming available. And until the next time, thank you.